All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Wahara Kakwadash. Double honors to apostles of Great Millstone and salutations to your elect, which you ought to be. And they, man, hey, look, it's going to be two routes and stuff, you see, right? You got a wide route and you also got a straight route. When I say straight route, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about STRAIGHT. I'm talking about STRAIT. You see, because when you come forth with this word and whatnot and stuff, you're going to make yourself a lot of enemies. You see, but the Lord said, guess what? You're going to have to go through a difficult road. You know what I'm saying? And that difficult road is going to be a refinery for your spirit. You see, where you're refining your soul and stuff to be back a godly, be in a godly state and stuff as He created us in the first, in the beginning. You see, right? Coming back to our heritage, coming back to the image and stuff that we supposed to be. And I'm talking about Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who outward appearance instead of a heathen. You see, right? No matter how you look, you see, right? If your spirit can reside with these scriptures and whatnot and stuff, then guess what? You need to hustle your ass off in this truth. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, going for myself. You see, right? So I want to start off with Second Ezra, the 7th chapter, and go in for now. So it's Second Ezra in Apocrypha, chapter 7, verse 1. It says, and when I had, it says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before. And this angel was Uriel, an archangel and stuff that was speaking to Ezra. You see, because Ezra and Esdras are the same individual, the same prophet. Verse 2, it says, and he said unto me, up Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. It says, and I said, speak on my power. It says, then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great. It said, but put the case, the interests were narrow and like a river. You see? It says, verse 5, it says, who then can go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? It says, if he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? You see? And pretty much that's a parable referring to the kingdom, because the kingdom is going to be vast. It's going to be great. You see? And first and foremost, the kingdom is within us. You know what I'm saying? You know, nothing will be established or built if Israel is not there. You see? Right? Well, I ain't going to say we're going to build up our own kingdom. We ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Only the fake Jews, the fake Jews, and the rest of the heathens and stuff are going to be the ones who build up our kingdom. You see? Right? Right? And then even amongst the ones who claim themselves to be Jewish, well, guess what? A lot of you all can just fuck around and be real jakes. You see? It's just that you look Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? You know, you look like Krusty Clown and stuff from The Simpsons when he went to check on his bar mitzvah. You see? And I know that started at 13 and stuff, but 13 is not when you become a man. It's 12. You see? Right? Right? But anyways, you know, you can have those curly fly sideburns. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can have the top hats, the small hats, the yarmulkes. You know what I'm saying? Be going completely off. You know what I'm saying? But here it is. You can fuck around and still be a Jake, though. You see? You got something that's called confusion of face. You know what I'm saying? Or speckled bird in the book of Jeremiah. I think it's 12, the 12th chapter. You see? And the thing is that it's not about appearance. It's about what your spirit is. Does your spirit can your spirit be recognized as being an Israelite? You see, Romans 8:16, right? Right. Uh, Salakia, verse 6, it says, there is also, right? All right, so the kingdom starts within us. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're going to be the rulers. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the nation of Israel, which is going to come next. You know what I'm saying? We got next. The Lord is not going to give it to the Israelites. The Lord is not going to give it to the East Indians. The Lord is not going to give it, you know what I'm saying, to none of the other 17 nations that he created. It's going to be time for the nation of Israel to rule. You You know what I'm saying? For true peace to actually come, as it says in Isaiah 60 and 18. You see, right? So it says, verse 6, it says, there is also another thing, a city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. Because we're going to be placed in front of constant temptation, you see? Right? Now it's all up to the Lord and stuff. He can just switch things around. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you just some wicked individual for all this time, but then, a flashlight or a light bulb pop off in your, in your mind and whatnot, and you just get it out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying, right? You just get it out of nowhere, and you receive the same penny as the parable says. You see, right? But most of us and stuff are not going to be in that predicament. You know what I'm saying? And why if we know about the truth or not and stuff, you know what I'm saying? The thing is that temptation and stuff is brought, you know what I'm saying, to each individual soul that's out here. You see, right? The ways of wickedness is established upon earth. You know what I'm saying? As it says in Ecclesiastes 10 and 6, it says, folly, going into the word foolishness, it says folly is set in great dignity. You see? Right? So everything that's wicked, guess what, is allowed here and whatnot. On the back of the dollar bill, it says, in God we trust. You know what I'm saying? But they're not following the instructions. So guess what? That means that they wicked. Psalms 50 and 16 explain who they actually are. You know what I'm saying? They're the wicked. You know what I'm saying, that the Lord had created. And guess what? They have defiled a lot of people with their philosophies, you know what I'm saying, to come after their ways. You see? Right? Including the nation of Israel. You read Psalms, the 83rd chapter, all they cared about was removing the nation of Israel out of remembrance. You see? They wanted us to follow away. They wanted us to follow their ways. You see? But then they get to maintain power over us. Right? 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 So that's what that fire on the right hand and that deep water on the left is. They are distractions, temptations to go astray away from the Lord. You see? Now you have in Proverbs 24 and 16, it says that a just man, right? A just man, a right man, a righteous man falleth 7 times. That 7 is completion. You know what I'm saying? Right? It could be 6. It could be 8. You know what I'm saying? It could be 100. You know what I'm saying? The Lord knows our steps. You see? And the thing is that the Lord is going to put it in our spirits and stuff to get right. You know what I'm saying? Before he returns. You see? So if you mess up, you know what I'm saying, you better hope that the Lord had written you in the book of life, because you will get your stuff together before it's too late. You see? You won't be twiddling your thumbs, or like the brother Mathathia like to say, dragging your knuckles. You see, matter of fact, he just happened to do sit down, but I ain't watched the video. He pretty much the title. Well, I'm gonna watch it later. But when it comes down to the title and stuff, it says we must is in all caps, practice what we preach. And that's Judges 5 and 11. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? When you practice what you preach and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, the tempter is going to come. You see? And the tempter has power over weaker vessels, meaning your woman, you know what I'm saying, or weaker vessels when it come down to men or even children. You know what I'm saying? Satan will use anything that he can and whatnot and stuff just to drive you away from the Lord, because this is his occupation. You see, this is his job. This is why he was created. You see? Right? And that's going to be part of that straight and narrow that we're going to be going through, because Satan is going to be trying to attack us. That's why the Lord said in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, that we got to sit up here and put up that whole armor. You see? We got to put up all the armor. Don't just sit up there and think this is a Brad Pitt movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm referring to Troy. You know what I'm saying? Not Troy, but, certain people and stuff, they just grab the shield and the sword. Nah, you got to put the rest of that armor on, man. You see? But remember, Satan probably got a lot of power and stuff, but guess what? He fight dirty and stuff. He never comes alone. You see? Right? So it says, 2nd Ezra 7 and 7, it says, the entrance thereof is narrow, and it's set in a dangerous place to fall. The temptations again. It says, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. You know what I'm saying? And those distractions can kill you. They can kill you spiritually. They can kill you spiritually. You know what I'm saying? And if you're dead spiritually and stuff, what's gonna happen in the end? You're gonna come to a physical death. You see? You know? Verse 8, it says, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small, it says that there could but one man go there at once. You know what I'm saying? You see? You know, you know. So the thing is that when it comes down to the kingdom, we're going to enter into great tribulations. You see, great troubles, right? This is Acts 14 and 22. You know what I'm saying? And this is the green tree. You seeing how people are. This is green tree. You see how people are right now. You know what I'm saying? You got one woman and stuff. Guess what? She run the lottery for $150,000 and stuff, and her ex-boyfriend offed her and offed himself. You see, right? Right? And this is the green tree. You know what I'm saying? You see, right? What it's all types of robbery and disrespect and no respect of the elders or why they in the truth or not. You know what I'm saying? You see, you know, people are pretty much completely turned left. You see, what is Alistair Crowley, one of the 33 degree Masons? You know what I'm saying? What he say? He said, "Do as thou wilt." You see, and look where it brought. Look what happens when the heathens rule, you know what I'm saying, and causes their subjects, you know what I'm saying, or citizens to follow which live in their sovereignty to see what they allow them to do. Right. Right? Right, so I'm gonna read this. This is Acts 14 and 22. It says, confirming the souls in the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. It says, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Because the only way to have an easy life and stuff, guess what? You got to sell your soul. You got to sell your soul. You got to give up everything. You see, you got to sit up here and kiss the ring of the current king of this earth. You see? And guess what? More than likely, you're going to have to do something very defiling, you know what I'm saying, to show, the announcement of the Lord and stuff in order to have favoring of the king, you see? But the true king is the one who created the king that rules right now and stuff. Esau Edom, the full-blooded spirited Caucasian, you see? And the thing is that, who is that? That's Yahweh, who the world really calls Jehovah, or God, or Yahweh. And the heavenly son's name is Yahweh Shai. You see, who the world really calls Jesus Christ or Jesus Christos, so Yeshua, Yeshaya. You see, well, not Yeshaya, but Yehoshua. You see, because one thing that needs to be placed out there and stuff, the Yiddish might adopt it, but in Paleo Hebrew, which is older Hebrew and stuff than Yiddish, you know what I'm saying? It has the only vowels and stuff is in the A's, the I and stuff. There's no E, no O, and no U's. You see, right? Right? Right. And when it comes down to Yiddish and stuff, Yiddish is mixed in with other languages. That ain't a language that's pure. It got to be one element. You see, if your gold got a couple of ores in it and stuff, guess what? It will devalue that gold. You will have to earn all that gold. I mean, all the ores out of that gold and stuff, which turns into dross. All those impurities need to come out and stuff for your gold to be at its highest value in the purest form. Pure means 100%. You know what I'm saying? You can't be 100% when you're sharing it with German, Slavic, you know what I'm saying, and Aramaic and Hebrew. You see? Right? Right? So they're not the real ones. But when you show and you prove that you are a real Hebrew Israelite and stuff, you will go through trouble. And let me show you this. This is This is 2 Corinthians 11. And you're not just going to go through stuff when it comes down to the heathens, those who are not Israelites. But guess what? You have Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Why do they look like heathens? Because Jackie Chan and China Mac is an Asian rapper. They're Israelites. You see, they're Israelites, right? And the thing is that who else? You got Brad Pitt. He's actually Native American Indian. He's a Gadite. Angelina Jolie. You got Blind Fury. So it don't matter how your outer shell is. What matters and stuff is if your spirit is recognized as an Israelite. You see, right? Right. But when you come to this word, when you come down to knowing who you actually are and stuff, guess what's going to happen? People are going to be seeking to attack you because they're being possessed by the demons and by the left hand angel Satan and stuff to come against you. As it says in 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, seeking who he may devour as a roaring lion. You see, so he on the hunt. You see, and that's why when we bring out the facts that most of these heathens had kept secret for so long, and we bring out the truth, what tends to happen? They get mad, they get upset, and they seek to bring tribulation upon thee. You see, right? Right. So this is Apostle Paul. You know what I'm saying? And Apostle Paul was apostle unto the Gentiles, Hellenistic Jews, Israelites and stuff who did not know that they was Israelites, or Israelites that was following the ways of the customs of the heathens. You see, as people do today. If you call yourself a so-called African American, but you are from the tribe of Judah, well, guess what? You will be considered a Gentile. If you look Asian, but the thing is that you follow, or you underneath the curses of Deuteronomy 28 through 15 through 68, and the various curses that the Lord had placed upon us to be a sign that we're Israelites, then guess what? You may not be an Asian. You may just look like that. You see? So this is 2 Corinthians, and you'll also receive hell too once you start turning into a new creature. So this is 2 Corinthians 11 and 19. It says, "For ye suffer fools gladly, seeing ye yourselves are wise." It says, "For ye suffer if a man bring you into bondage." It says, yeah. It says, "If a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the face, I speak as concerning reproach, meaning shame, as though we had been weak." And it tells you in 1 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, that we're known as scum of the earth. It says in Galatians 4:16, "Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth?" That's why you have the saying that the truth hurts. You see? Why? Because people don't like being told the bullshit that they do. You see? They don't want to get told the things that they like and get them killed. You see? Or get them destroyed. Or make them enemies with the king of the universe. You see? Which is the king of Final Destination public executions. You see? Right? So this is verse 21 again. It says, "I speak as concerning reproach as though we had been weak. Howbeit, whereinsoever any is bold, I speak foolishly, I am bold also. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I." You see, so the people of Corinthians, which would be Greece today, you know what I'm saying, right? Guess what? They were Israelites. You see, the Apostle Paul was sent just to wake them up because of the office and what he learned and stuff too, right? So this is verse 23. It says, "Are they ministers of Yahushua? I speak as a fool, I am more. In labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, and deaths often." You see? So when it came down to Apostle Paul and stuff, guess what? He had to face imprisonment, you know what I'm saying, from his own people. You see? Because remember, Apostle Paul was the son of a Pharisee, you see? So guess what? He followed within the same shoes. He was a Pharisee also, you see? But when Yahushua and stuff said that he fight against the prince because he was going against churches that believed in what Stephen was speaking, you know what I'm saying, which also was another martyr of the truth, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to him, uh, 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 Shit, who I just brought out. When it came down to him and whatnot, he started preaching faith and whatnot, and the people looked at him as a hypocrite. You see, right? So they sought to kill Apostle Paul, and they succeeded. You see, they even said that, look, we will not eat, we would not drink. They pretty much cursed themselves and said that they would starve themselves until they had pretty much the head of Apostle Paul. So pretty much they were saying that they were going to kill themselves if they couldn't get the death of Apostle Paul. And Apostle Paul died, but he was resurrected. You know what I'm saying? Being brought back to life. You see? Right? And he was also in prison. You can also get in prison for this. The scripture says to count the cost. And why is that? Because a lot of people would try to turn you in. They'll try to sit up here once Esau Edom claims that, guess what, doing this work is evil work. You know what I'm saying? When they call us extremists and terrorists and stuff by reading a book or the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, out to the public and putting it on social media and whatnot. Guess what? A lot of people are going to be ready to turn us in. What movie that's out there have you never seen that when the good guys have to turn themselves in because society and stuff had deemed them the enemy? Every DC, Marvel comic, every superhero went through that period, you see? And guess what? We are in the times of extreme hatred, right? So it says, verse 24, it says, of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. It says, thrice was I beat with rods, right? Sound like brutality. It says, once was I stoned, thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep. It says, in journeyings often, in perils of water. It's in waters. It says, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen, meaning other Israelites. It says, in perils by the heathen, those who are not Israelites. It says, in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren. Meaning you're going to have those who know that they're Israelites, but guess what? They have a different agenda. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about waking nobody up to the truth. All they care about is either making money or how men and women look up to them. You see? Right? Right? Or, well, what's the main thing they're going to do? They're going to tell you that the mark of the beast is an embargo or sleeping with white women, when the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, radio frequency identification, you see? And also Neuralink for those who are mentally ill, where they put the chip inside your brain. You see? Right? That is a false brethren. Somebody who's not giving you warning for the sad troubles that's finna come. You see? In order to make it into the kingdom, it ain't gonna be easy, but it's possible though. You see? It says, in weariness and in painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and in thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. It says, besides those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of all the churches. You know what I'm saying? You know, and Apostle Sahar was saying that, yes, we are obligated and stuff to bring forth this word. But guess what? There's something called the family of the word where we won't be on social media. We won't be out here, we won't be out here doing this and stuff and whatever weather it is, it can feel good outside. We're not going to do it and stuff. And why is that? It's going to be martial law on the streets. If you don't have a legit reason to be out in the streets, they can detain you. You see? And the detainment that they're going to bring is not regular jail. It's called a FEMA camp. You see? Where they're going to force upon you the mark of the beast, because that's the only way to gain freedom. You will have to denounce the Lord, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, which are the true names. And as it says in Acts 4 and 12, no other name can be called where salvation lies. You see? You see? So I'm going to go back to Second Esdras 7 in Apocrypha. The Second Esdras 7 and 7 again. It says the entrance thereof is narrow. It says and set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. Once again, those are distractions, temptations and stuff to cause you to go off, to fuck your relationship up when it comes down to Yahweh Bashim Shai, the one who has power to redeem you. And it says, verse 8, it says, it says, one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, it says, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, is it so, Lord? Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. So Israelites are going to go through this regardless. You got something that's called Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7, for alas, that day is great and it's none like it. It's even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. You see, right? And then he shall be saved is referring to the elect. You know what I'm saying? The 144,000, which consists of 12,000 men, 12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 men, each of the 12 tribes of Israel, the governing body. And then you got the 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children who are Israelites, who believe no matter how they look, who convert and keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability, mingle with faith, repenting every day, not cherry picking what they want to repent on, and repenting on a timely fashion on the Lord's time before it's too late. You see, who is predestined from the beginning. You see, you know, it's not about how you look. The Lord said that he judges not like how man judges from the outward appearance, but on the inner man. You see? You see? And if you keep in the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability and stuff, and it's not really causing you that much of a cringe, guess what? You may be an Israelite, because Israelites can only do this. You see? You know? So this is verse 11. It says, because for their sakes I made the world. It says, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, there was the creed that now is done. Adam brought evil into the world. We already know that when it came down to Eve, that she was the one who started off first. You know what I'm saying? But then she gave Adam the knowledge of good and evil. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the fall began. And it says, verse 12, it says, then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. So we didn't have to farm the land. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? He was going to eat, Adam, part of his curse and stuff was that he was going to eat, you know what I'm saying, from the sweat of his brow, meaning he had to work for it. You see, right? It wasn't like that before. Everything was just there, you see? And then on top of that and stuff, we had the fear of the animals. Nowadays, animals are not fearful of human beings anymore, you see? Right? So it says, women are against us. They're set in higher positions. You know what I'm saying? For our women to be so proud and whatnot and stuff, they destroy entire households and seek to escape accountability, but hope for accountability and responsibility to be placed on every single man they sleep with. You see? You know? Right? The deranged in their mind frames. You know what I'm saying? You know, most of the women don't even know how to cook nowadays. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's a skill that fell away. You see? And it's all because of the wickedness and stuff of Adam and Eve. You see? Right? So this is verse 13. It says, for the interests of the elder world were wide and sure and brought immortal fruit. You know what I'm saying? You know, verse 14. Because, hey, the knowledge of righteousness stuff was there. As it says in Luke 1:70 and stuff, that there was prophets in you from the beginning. You see, right? The coolness of the day. You know what I'm saying? The wind that walketh in the garden and stuff. Those are prophets. You see? Well, the voice, you know what I'm saying, are prophets. You see? Right? The Lord said that he can raise up stones. So he's going to have a certain vessel bring forth out this truth, you know what I'm saying, to give on to the others, you know what I'm saying, who need to listen. You see? But rather they hear or forbear in this time. Well, even in the ancient times. Look at Noah, right? So it says, verse 14, if then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them, referring to the kingdom. Now, therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? You see? You know, the scriptures talk about that better is the end of the thing than the beginning of it. And we're at the end. When Yahushua came on the scene, when he started his ministry to start speaking and stuff and also keeping on his disciples, the thing is that when it came down to it, that was the beginning of the end. Right now, we're at the end of the end. And you can tell by all these different calamities and stuff that's happening. You see? You know? It's nothing but derailments with hazardous hazardous chemicals and stuff that's being sprayed in the air or fall into creeks and waters and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, which comes through our piping system. You know what I'm saying? Which comes through our air and whatnot and stuff, depending on how long it can stay in the air without dissipating. You see, right? Newer disease and illnesses and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Every changing season, you see, you know, every changing season, you see, and then how it's affecting the people. It's causing the people to drop like flies. You know what I'm saying? Look at the weather. I always get YouTube announcements and stuff from the different channels and stuff when they report in severe weather. Every place out in the east, Middle East and stuff, they're going through a flood, rock slide. I really ain't come up on a lot of what they call themselves. Well, no, what they call it, avalanches and whatnot and stuff. But you got rock slides, mud slides, water slides and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Fields of food and stuff being contaminated and they can't ship it out. You know what I'm saying? So people can eat. You know what I'm saying? And then that regular weather and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Well, not regular weather, but the extreme cold and the flash floods and the lightnings and the fires and whatnot and stuff. Guess what? It's destroying the domestic farms. You know what I'm saying? Where these people ain't finna have nothing to eat. You see? You know? And this is in the green tree. So when the dry tree comes, guess what? It's going to be even more deaths. You see? On the Georgia Guidestones before they got destroyed, you know what I'm saying? It was talking about ruling a nation of 500 million. You see? Right? And the thing is that it's more people than 500 million on the earth. And Esau is all over. You see? And with Esau being all over and whatnot and stuff, guess what? He's still expecting, you know what I'm saying, to bring forth this new world order. You know what I'm saying? You know, which is order out of chaos, meaning order out of chaos. You see? You know what I'm saying? So what's going to happen in the streets? Civil unrest. You see? And nowadays, people are so desperate and thirsty, they don't care how old you are. You see? Because most of these people's morals has been degenerated. You see? So this is verse 17. It says, then answered I and said, O Lord, thou bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. You know what I'm saying? You know, and when it comes down to being righteous, you know what I mean, you hope to be of the righteous. Because if you are the righteous and stuff, the Lord's gonna be in your corner. You know what I'm saying? You know, even if it looks like you might be perished. You see, scriptures talk about that too. I think that's in First Peter's. You see, the 4th chapter. You see, and the thing is that, you know, yeah, we might look like seem to die and whatnot and stuff. But the thing is that our end is blessed, while everybody else end, while they trying to live their good life and stuff. Guess what? They gonna lose it with the quickness. The scripture says, "He that find his life shall lose it, and he that loses life shall find it." Hey, we lose in this life. You know what I'm saying? And when I say losing this life and whatnot, meaning that we're cutting ourselves off from our desires, you know what I'm saying? You know, things that will have us uh, 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 choked up at the roots of this world and whatnot and stuff. We cutting that off, you know what I'm saying? And living the life and stuff as Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and stuff ordained us to do. As it says in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, it says, the whole duty of man is to keep the law, statutes, commandments. And if we claim with our mouths so much that we love Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? If we love Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, what we're going to do is that we're going to keep his commandments, as it says in John 14 and 15. You see? You know, if we claim that we about our Father's business and stuff, we ain't gonna go after our own covetousness. We're gonna cover the best things, cover the prophesy, and the Lord has put it in our spirits and stuff to be able to do it. You see, you know, and guess what? One of the signs, if you on the right track, is if people hate you from telling them the right thing, or something they don't want to hear, or something category, because we speak on the categories and whatnot and stuff, or what niggas do, you know what I'm saying, you know, and the thing is that if niggas and bitches, you know what I'm saying, don't like being called niggas and bitches and stuff, then guess what, you gonna have to stop doing certain actions then, you see, because that's the only reason why that shit hurts, because you're guilty, and we're telling you and stuff, find a way to be innocent. You see, the scripture says in second Ezra, the 16th chapter, it said, let not thy sins weigh you down. Yeah, you was that you was a nigga, you was a bitch back then and whatnot and stuff. Well, don't do that shit no more. You see, you know, and start putting on that innocency and stuff, and expect for that to outweigh your wickedness. You see. You see. Oh, right. Right, so this is 17 again. Second Ezra 7 and 17. It says, "Then answered I and said, O Lord, thou bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish." It says, "Nevertheless," and the scriptures also said, "When hand joined in hand shall only be thrust through." You know what I'm saying? You see, I think it's Isaiah 13 and 15 or 15:13. Bear with me. Nope. It's Isaiah 13 and 15. It says, "Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword." And it's talking about when it comes down to this world, man. You see, if you ingredients and stuff, when it comes down to this world and stuff, you're going to fall. This is Isaiah, and this is what the ungodly delight in. They delight in this world. This is this is this is Isaiah. I'm in there. This is Isaiah 30 in verse 1. And it says, "Woe to the rebellious children," right? So let's get the word rebellious. It's the word shawar, right? The Sadara and the Ra shawar. And it says to turn away, that is morally. You see? Backsliding. Backsliding is to turn your back on the Lord. And how you do that? By doing things that's against what he likes. You see? Revolting, stubborn. You see? Right? And stubbornness being consistent and doing wrong, you see, right? It says the transgression of the law, well, sin is the transgression of the law, as it says in 1 John 3 and 4. So this Isaiah 30 and 1. So this is what the ungodly is going to do. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh. It says that take counsel, but not of me, right? It says, and that it says, take counsel not of me and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the philosophies of this world. You see? Talking about the philosophies of this world. It says, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit. They protection and stuff is in Humvees, you know what I'm saying? You know, military cars, police, and whatnot and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. The scriptures do say, use the world, don't abuse it. You know, if you got a certain situation going on and stuff that's threatening your life, by all means, call the police. You know what I'm saying? You know, if there's an if there's I mean, you know, you of course you'll still have your self-defense shit going on and stuff, but the thing is that you still gonna have to do a police report. You know what I'm saying? You know, because other than that, you gonna look like you just killed the motherfucker. And then when it comes down to certain self-defenses, you got to be careful on what you do when it comes down to self-defense, because you can fuck around and go to jail too by defending yourself. You see, especially if you got a concealed carry, but that shouldn't be your faith though. You see. You a Jake, my friend. Right. So it says I'll read it again, Isaiah 30 and 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a sinful world. You see, as it says in this is the world of Esau. You see? Now, yeah, you probably got heathens and stuff that control their things and whatnot and stuff. But guess what? Most of the things that they delighted in and stuff is considered as wickedness. And the Lord is not down for that, you see, right? And also part of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 and 64 was that we was going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth. Or we was to be scattered amongst the heathen, and the heathens are everywhere. You see, where there's land, the heathens are there, unless it's forbidden space. You see, right? Or space and stuff that nobody has claimed yet. You see, property that nobody has claimed, like them various islands, you know what I'm saying, that you got to zoom in for days and stuff just to see from Google Earth, right? And it says, right, and the thing is that our people is still underneath the rulership, underneath the oppression, you know what I'm saying, of the heathens. You see, because this is still the time of the Gentiles, which are real heathens. You know what I'm saying? You see, that is not talking about Hellenistic Jews, as it says in Luke 21. You see, right? So this is verse 20, Isaiah 30 and 2. It says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth. It says to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You see? And once again, this place is wicked, you know what I'm saying? As it says in Revelations 11 and 8. You see? You know? Where they call it, where it's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. I'm gonna grab it and I'm coming right back. This Revelations 11 and 8. And it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of thy great city. Their dead bodies and stuff is talking about our people being of the undead. They're alive, they're walking around, you know what I'm saying, you know, but they're dead though. They're still spiritually dead, you see, right? And you can still be spiritually dead if you're and you know that you're an Israelite. You see, you know, right? The bones might come together, you know what I'm saying, you know, but the sinews, you know what I'm saying, you know, and the flesh, you know, you know what I'm saying, and stuff ain't come on and stuff. So guess what? You're not fully developed, so you're still spiritually dead. You see, right? It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And part of that crucifixion, crucified means to cross out. Part of that crucifixion and stuff is pretty much changing everything upside down, as it says in Psalms 82 and 5. You see, they switched everything around. Everything that was considered as good in the sight of the Lord, that they had called that bad, and the things that are considered as bad in the sight, in the things that's considered as bad in the sight of in sight of Yahweh Shem Shai and stuff, they call it good. And that's found in Isaiah 5 and 20. You see, right? Right. So going back to Isaiah 30, it's 3. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And this the strength of Pharaoh and stuff is referring to America, because America is doomed, you know what I'm saying, to be destroyed. You see, right? And all the ungodly and stuff are going to be attached to it, because other than that, they will seek spiritually to escape from this place. That don't mean to be a passport brother. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a passport brother and stuff, you doing that and stuff just so you can get the right female for you, because you can't find the right morals and stuff found with here in America with this westernized corruption. You see? But when it come down, you see? But when it come down to when it come down to but when it comes down to like just fleeing another land and stuff just so you won't get shot down with missiles, you know what I'm saying? You know, the only way to escape, you know what I'm saying, because the Lord can hold you up in America. The only way to escape is that you're going to have to sit up here and return unto the Heavenly Father and stuff so he can beam you up, or you die for righteousness' sake or for his name's sake and whatnot. You have to be found in the you have to be found written in the book of life and whatnot for the Lord to save you. You see? You know what I'm saying? Because no matter where you run and stuff, guess what? You still might fuck around and still catch the haymakers that the Lord's going to be sending out there. You see, and what are those haymakers? Teeth of wild beasts, the weather, you see, you know, serpents, you know, deranged people, you see, you know, you know, people, serial killers, gunshots, medicinal corruption, you see, right? Right? So I'm going to slide over. This is Isaiah 31 and 1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses. And that stay is talk about support. It says, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, right? The Humvees, you know what I'm saying? You know, police cars, SWAT armored vehicles, right? It says, because they are many, and horsemen, because they are very strong. It said, you know, they got the, you know, right, little guns on it. It says, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers. It says, and against the help of them that work iniquity. You see, verse 3, right? Iniquity. This is it's the word awan, the Ottawa Nana awan, and it says hence to exert oneself usually in vain, to come to naught, nothingness, vanity, wickedness. You see, right, right, and it says verse 3, it says, now the Egyptians, and these are talking about Edomites, it says, are men and not God. It says, and their horses flesh and not spirit, right? Here it is, you got the chariots, UFOs, flying saucers, UAPs, and what are they doing? They're sitting up here toying with Esau to make them think that they got a fighting chance, when really they don't, you see? Because they already know that the chariots and stuff far exceeds the technology and stuff that the Lord has allowed and letteth them be able to have. You see? You see? Right? And it says, It says when the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down. And it says, and they shall fail together. You see, so if you agree when it come down to this world and whatnot and stuff, guess what? You're gonna be considered one of the ungodly. You see, the ungodly is gonna love this world. You see, look all the ungodliness and stuff that's allowed within this world and stuff, and look how it's been failing. You see, it's because it's of man. You see, and it's coming to naught. It's coming to nothing. You see, right? But what is Yahweh Shai's word doing? Breaking down strongholds. You see, making sure that everything that he says and stuff comes to pass. You see, right? So this back in second Ezra 7 and 17 again. It says, then answered I and said, O Lord, thou bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, difficulty. It says, and hope for wide. And what is that wide? The kingdom. And it says, for they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. You see? So they're still going to go through things. You see? Because all Israel has to still pay for their sins. As it says in Ecclesiastes 3 and 15, the Lord desires which is past. And what is that which is past? What is that which is past? What is that which is past and stuff? Your past sins. As it says in 2nd Ezra 7 and 56, and I'll come right back to 19. The 2nd Ezra 7 and 56, and it says, for while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. So this is why why the wicked and stuff will also suffer straight things too. You see, right? Right? Read the second Maccabees and the seventh chapter and stuff. You see, one of the brothers is like, look, the only reason why we being put to death and stuff is because of the sins and stuff that we have committed. You see, but the thing is that hey, we get a brand new life. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the kingdom, but then when it comes down to the kingdom, but when it comes down to the kingdom for Esau, he has no resurrection to life. And what that's talking about is that he cannot repent, and he's gonna live for 1,000 years. You know what I'm saying? Underneath the servitude of the Israelites, well, he'll get immensely beaten. You know what I'm saying? By the elect and 2/3. You know what I'm saying? And there will be a great example amongst the other heathens and stuff not to touch the apple of the Lord's eye ever again. All right, so this is back in 2nd Ezra 7 and 19. It says, and he said unto me, there is no judge above the Most High, and none that have understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of Yahweh by Shem Shai that is set before them. It says, for the Most High have given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. You see, right? The reason why laws are made and stuff is so you can maintain peace. You know what I'm saying, right? And not just peace amongst other people, but also peace amongst yourselves. That's why we have a dietary law. That's why we have certain things that we can eat and certain things we cannot eat, because how it reacts within our bodies. You see? And then you also have certain other people where it's like, well, they get high immunity, you know what I'm saying? So they can eat all the shrimp, crab, and clams and mussels, stuff that cleans out the water, you know what I'm saying? Make sure water is clean and filtrated, you know what I'm saying? Right? Catfish and stuff, right? Pork, you know what I'm saying? It's the sanitation of the earth. It's nature's sanitation, you see? Right? Where you don't have to worry about no big giant landfill where they burying the garbage. or they're sitting up here tossing water out. It's a small island, small state of water. I think they say it's what 3 times the size of Texas. You know what I'm saying? Of garbage floating out there in the sea. You see, the Lord has something when it comes down to that. You see, and then there's also another way. You know what I'm saying? To degrade certain things and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's to set it on fire. You see, right? So this is Second Ezra 7. I know I'm speaking a little different. You know what I'm saying? But this is how the Spirit has it. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right. So this is this Second Ezra 7 and 22. It says, nevertheless, well, Salaki, you know, even if the Lord, said, even if you, it's like, see, ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hurt me. It ain't hurt me. Well, that's all good and stuff, but the only hurt that you really bring it to yourself and stuff is that you violating the law. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it probably ain't nothing happening to you when you eat unlawful food. You know what I'm saying? But then now you got beef with the Lord, which is unnecessary. You see? And as it says in Sirach, the 35th chapter, it says, keeping the law, statute, commandments, you know what I'm saying? It's already a peace offering unto the Lord. You see? And that's how we maintain peace. So even Jeremiah, he said, be not a terror unto me. And I think that's Jeremiah 17 and 7. And it also says in Isaiah 33 and 18, it says, thou shalt meditate terror. You see? And look at all the terror that's happening. That terror was already pre-described when it came down to the Lord. You see? Right? You want to be wrapped up into something like that? You see? Well, the Lord can make your calluses overgrow your feet and your hands. You see? And you still got work to do. You still got to go. No, if you're a construction worker and stuff, guess what? You're going to have to quit that job. If it's a job where you got to use your hands, you through. Or even if it's a job where you got to use your feet and whatnot and stuff, the thing is that you ain't putting on those shoes. You know what I'm saying? And the seasons are still going to go past. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the seasons and stuff are unseasonable. You see? One day it feel good as hell, it's 50 degrees. People ready to go out there with their hoodies and stuff, and then next thing you know, it's snowing and raining. You know what I'm saying? You see? You know? You got to bring back out that windshield snow remover and stuff and scraper, man. You see? So this is back in Second Ezra 7 and 23. It says in this 22. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things. You see? So you got to watch your thoughts too. Don't just think that, the scriptures do say it's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a man, but what comes out, talking about how you speak or how you talk, you know what I'm saying? Or how you break things down too, you see, right? How you break things down too. You know what I'm saying? You saying that the mark of the beast is sleeping with white women and whatnot, you completely wrong, because the mark of the beast didn't even exist and stuff in the past. And guess what? Part of the concubines that King Solomon had were Edomites, meaning full-blooded spirited Caucasians. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's defiling you. False doctrine defile you. Being a false prophet defiles you. You see, being a false teacher defiles you. You see, because of what you say. And Galatians 1 and 8 clearly says that you are considered a curse if you give false doctrine. You see, right? You can humble yourself and repent if the Lord put that in your spirit or that's part of your walk. But if he don't, you got missile fire coming. You got getting beaten with many stripes coming. You see, that's something you want to escape. Verse 23, it says, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. It says, but his law have they despised and denied his covenants? It said, in his statutes have they not been faithful and have not performed his works. It says, and therefore Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. You see, that's why some people can't get the truth. Some people can't get the mark of the beast. You see, they can't get the breakdown. You see, so therefore they're going to be warned, but they're not going to take heed. You see, because what the Lord does is that He always warns before the trouble comes. You see, and He's going to put it with His men that are after His own heart, as it says in Jeremiah 3:15. The ones who are really married unto Him. You see, and that is spiritual, and it's not a homosexual thing going on. You see, repent from that if you homosexual, bisexual, or in some weird sexuality type things. Having sex with a midget woman and stuff is not perverse. It is a woman. She's just short and thick with it. To each his own. You wanna. Slovakia. Right, so this is